Now we'll see what is electromagnetic force. As you can see, the word electromagnetic force is made up of two separate words, electric force and magnetic force. Now see, as soon as I say the word electric force, what comes into your mind? Electric charges. Okay, so it is a force acting between charged particles. You know two charged particles, proton and electron. Okay, they are the fundamental particles. Now, the electric force is also known as Coulomb's force. But there is one condition, that the electric force or a Coulomb's force is the force which acts between stationary charged particles. So whenever the charged particles are stationary, the force acting between them is known as Coulomb's force, or else you can call it electric force. And the magnitude of that force is given by this equation. You must have a feeling like you have seen this equation. Of course, you have seen a similar equation of gravitational force. What it was? Gravitational force is equals to capital G into M1, M2 divided by R square. So the formula for gravitational force was very similar to this formula. Okay, now this equation was given by Coulomb. And from this equation, you can write the statement of Coulomb's law also, that the force acting between two charged particles is directly proportional to the product of the charges and inversely proportional to square of distance between the charged particles. Okay, now we were studying that the force acting between stationary charged particles is known as Coulomb's force. Now what if the charged particles are in motion? So that force is known as electromagnetic force. So just see, when the charged particles are in motion, the force acting between them is known as electromagnetic force. Now why we are calling it electromagnetic force? See, when a charged particle is stationary, it creates electric field around it, and as well as it can create electric force around it. But now suppose if the same charged particle is in motion, then it has electric field as well as it has a magnetic field around it. See, you have studied this a little bit in 10th standard, we'll see that. But two scientists, Maxwell and Faraday, they proved that the electric field and the magnetic field are inseparable, or else they are interconvertible. If there is an electric field changing with time, means electric field which changes its value with respect to time, then you will have a magnetic field produced due to this electric field, and the value of this magnetic field also will change with respect to time. Now, such a magnetic field which changes its value with respect to time is going to create again electric field which changes its value with time. So this process continues. Electric field will produce magnetic field, and in turn magnetic field will produce electric field. So they are not separable. You cannot separate them. They are interconvertible. So whenever you have a charged particle and it is in motion, then it will be surrounded by electric field as well as magnetic field, and the combined force which the charged particle feels is known as electromagnetic force. This concept was given by Maxwell and Faraday, and you are going to study this in detail in 12th standard, so we are not going to discuss it just now. Now we'll see, you have studied a little bit about this in 10th standard. Just see what we have studied. You have studied electromagnetic induction, where you saw that a magnet can create current. See, try to remember this concept. When you have a magnet around a coil, and if there is relative motion between the magnet and the coil, then current was induced in the coil. See, if the velocity of this magnet is 0, either you move this magnet towards the coil or away from the coil, the magnetic field lines linked with the coil will change, and it will create current, induced current in the coil, and which will be seen as a deflection in the galvanometer. जैसे ही करंट प्रोड्यूस होगा कॉइल में, गैल्वेनोमीटर डिफ्लेक्शन दिखाने लगेगा. सो फ्रॉम हियर यू कैन से दैट चेंजिंग मैग्नेटिक फील्ड कैन प्रोड्यूस इलेक्ट्रिसिटी. व्हाई चेंजिंग मैग्नेटिक फील्ड? जैसे आप मैग्नेट को पास और दूर लेकर जा रहे थे तो मैग्नेटिक फील्ड लाइंस जो कॉइल के साथ लिंक हुई थी उनका नंबर चेंज हो रहा था. इफ द मैग्नेट इज मूविंग टूवर्ड्स द कॉइल देन द नंबर ऑफ फील्ड लाइंस लिंक्ड विद द कॉइल विल इंक्रीज. If you are moving the magnet away from the coil, then the number of magnetic field lines linked with the coil were decreasing. Whatever, whether the number was increasing or decreasing, if the number of magnetic field lines linked with the coil changes, then it will create induced current. So, the conclusion, magnetic field can create electricity. Now, it's inverse. See, you have also seen that current has magnetic effect. We know that a current carrying wire behaves as a magnet. So from here we can see current carrying wire means is a concept of electricity. So electricity can produce magnetism. Here we have seen magnetism can produce electricity, magnetic field can produce electric field, and here we have seen that electric field produces magnetic field. So from this knowledge also, you can conclude that electric field and magnetic field are interconvertible. So the combined force is known as electromagnetic force. Now we'll see the property of electromagnetic force, which is our main topic of focus. So see, the electromagnetic force, as it is acting between the charged particles, it has two types. It will be attractive for unlike charges. Sorry, I have written this like charges by mistake. It has to be unlike charges. So, the electromagnetic force will be attractive in nature when the charges are unlike. What do you mean by the charges are unlike? Suppose if you are having one positively charged particle and another negatively charged particle. Suppose one proton and electron. They are unlike. So the electromagnetic force between them will be attractive. It is repulsive for like charges. If the charged particles are like, means both the charged particles are positive or both the charged particles are negative, then the force will be repulsive in nature. If you remember gravitational force, it was only attractive. Why? Because the reason for the production of gravitational force was mass. Masses don't have type. Masses are not positive and negative. Masses are of only one type, and hence the nature of the gravitational force was only of one type. It was only attractive. Whereas the electromagnetic force is because of the charges. And charges are of two types, positive and negative. Therefore, the force also has dual nature, attractive and repulsive. Next is, it is a long range force. Gravitational force also was a long range force, right? We saw that it was acting between moon and earth, between earth and sun. And you know the distance between earth and sun is very big, earth and moon is very big, so it is a long range force. Same way, electromagnetic force is also a long range force. It is difficult to understand this because if I am saying that it acts between electrons and protons, then you might feel that electrons and protons will be very nearby to each other, and how can it be a long range force? See, it is interlinked with the magnetic force, electric force plus the magnetic force. And as the magnetic field is involved, the range of this force becomes very long. This we'll study in detail when we study about light as an electromagnetic wave. At that time you will understand why this is a long range force. But at present you remember that it is a long range force. Next is, it obeys inverse square law like the gravitational force. See the formula. In gravitational force formula you have seen like this. Force was inversely proportional to r squared. So similarly here also the electromagnetic force also obeys the inverse square law. In terms of strength now, gravitational force was a weak force. So we'll see the relation between electromagnetic force and gravitational force. So see, electromagnetic force is 10 raised to 36 times stronger than the gravitational force. You have to remember this number. It is 10 raised to 36 times stronger than the gravitational force. And there is one more force, strong nuclear force. So electromagnetic force is 100 times weaker than the strong nuclear force. Next, it is a central force. That is, it acts from center to center. Suppose if this is one charged particle, this is another charged particle. So it acts between the centers of the charged particle. Same was the case in gravitational force also. This is also a conservative force. Same way, gravitational force was also a conservative force. And the last property, electromagnetic force does not require medium. Suppose if you have two protons, then it is not necessary that there should be some medium between two protons in order for the electromagnetic force to act between them. Whether if the medium is present or if it is absent, electromagnetic force will be acting. Okay, so medium is not a compulsion. But suppose if the medium is present, then the properties of the medium will influence electromagnetic force. So medium is not required for the electromagnetic force to act. But if the medium is present, then the force depends on the properties of the medium. Now we'll see the example of where the electromagnetic force is seen to act. See, if you talk about the molecular scale or the atomic scale, then at atomic scale and at molecular scale also gravitational force will be acting. Suppose if you consider electron and suppose two electrons in an atom, then also gravitational force will be between them and also the electromagnetic force will be acting between them. But as you have seen the comparison of the strength of the electromagnetic force and the gravitational force, electromagnetic force was 10 raised to 36 times stronger than the gravitational force. So between two electrons, which force will be bigger? It will be electromagnetic force and not the gravitational force. So if you consider the phenomena taking place at atomic scale or at molecular scale, then the electromagnetic force will dominate as it is stronger than gravitational force. But now see, when you consider terrestrial phenomena, right, then the matter around us is mostly electrically neutral. What do you mean by electrically neutral? No extra charge is there. So the bodies are not charged. Suppose if you consider this pen, then this is electrically neutral. अगर ये neutral नहीं होता और मैं touch करती मुझे current लगता, right? So this is electrically neutral. Suppose if I consider this other pen, so both are electrically neutral. So now these two bodies are not charged. Now again we talk about two forces, electromagnetic force and gravitational force. Then which force will be bigger? Gravitational force will be bigger as these two bodies are not charged. Clear? Okay. At present I cannot see that these two pens are attracting each other also. But still gravitational force is acting. Why they both are not moving towards each other? Because the gravitational force created by these two objects on each other is also very small in strength and hence I cannot see them attracting each other. But yes, the force which is bigger between them is gravitational force and not the electromagnetic force. So remember one thing, at molecular level, at molecular scale or at atomic scale, you can see that the electromagnetic force dominates and at terrestrial level, the gravitational force dominates. Now just see one more thing. We have seen that at atomic scale and molecular scale, the electromagnetic force dominates. So what you can understand from that statement is that the electromagnetic force governs the structure of atoms and molecules. The dynamics of chemical reaction means in which direction the chemical reaction will proceed, and the mechanical properties, the thermal properties and various other properties of the material are governed by electromagnetic force. We are going to study the thermal properties, mechanical properties and other properties of the materials in detail in 11th standard. So that we'll see afterwards only. not in first chapter. Okay, then the electromagnetic force is responsible for certain macroscopic forces like tension, friction, normal forces and spring force, etc. Again, these forces are new for you. This friction you might have heard, but this tension and all, it is new for you, tension, spring force and all. But just simply understand that the electromagnetic force is responsible for all these forces. I'll explain this one. See, friction. Suppose if you rub your palms like this, then you feel warm, right? Why? Because there is friction between your palms. Now, why there is friction between your palms? Because as soon as you make a contact between your palms, what happens? There are temporary bonds formed between the surface of your palms. And when you start sliding your one palm over other, what happens? Those bonds are broken. And because of that, heat is produced. So, those bonds were formed because of the electromagnetic force. So you can say that the reason of the frictional force is electromagnetic force. All these we'll see in detail in the further chapters. So that's all for the electromagnetic force.